Hi, welcome to the Clarksville Now candidate forums for the Republican primary for the Montgomery County elections. This is for School Board District 2, and the candidates are David Johnson and Casey Bryant. And so thank you so much for running for office. This is a really important thing that you're doing for local democracy. Can you just tell us a bit about yourselves and your qualifications for the office, Mr. Johnson?
Yes. Once again, thank you for doing this. I don't think these positions quite get the recognition that they need because it's an important thing. But going into that, so obviously I'm David Johnson. I'm a qualified voter. I live in District 2. I have 3 children currently in the school system at each level, at the elementary, middle, and the high school. My youngest is currently in there. He's on a 501 as well. Or I'm sorry, a 504. And so we're familiar with the stuff. I grew up through the school system, and I feel parents need to get more involved. The current temperature right now and just politics and just the U.S. right now it needs to work. And, I want to be more involved in what I can do to make my children more successful and improve their future.
Thank you. Ms. Bryant?
Yes, I am. Thank you for hosting this. And I agree 100%. It's really great to see this election cycle, so many parents stepping up. And I don't think that we've seen that very often in the past. And so it's very nice to have competition. I think that competition makes us better. And hopefully, we can get more parents on the school board, because currently there's one school board member that has children in this school district. So I am a mother of 2. I have a 11-year-old and a 13-year-old, and I've done all of the things. I've done homeschool, I've done private school, and I've also done public school. So I think I have a great, finger on the pulse of the positives and negatives of all of those options. I'm running as a parent, not a politician, and I've led many projects around Clarksville when it comes to, the growth of Clarksville. And I'm really excited to grab this bull by the horns and hopefully be a good voice for parents and teachers and students.
All right, thank you. So let's talk about some of the issues that you may be facing in this race and in the next 4 years. With Clarksville's growth, CMCSS has sometimes struggled to keep up. What do you think is the best way to address overcrowding in our schools? Mr. Johnson?
All right. So as a lot of you know, Clarksville, Montgomery County, we are the 7th largest school district in the state. And I believe currently we have over 38,000 students that are enrolled. And we're growing way too fast. The schools, we're building new schools, but the new schools are constantly requiring, additional portables to almost be built simultaneous with them. So I'm not 100% sure how the school board kind of thoroughly researches and stuff, but we need to reach out to some of these larger cities and communities that have experienced this and either get larger plots of land, build bigger schools, but we need a better plan to kind of prepare for the overall, because it's not slowing down. It's only going to get bigger. These schools are crowded, and with the competition of charter schools rising and everything else, we need to plan and build for the future long term versus having, a new school every 3 to 5 mile distance from each other. It's just, we need better plans. We need to think it out. And I believe with the right people on there that are fully invested and with their kids and love for the community that, we should be able to find that. It's very reasonable.
Right. Ms. Bryant?
Yes, I've actually been on one of the planning committees for the city, and not for the school specifically, but for the entire city and county of Montgomery County. And so I believe that it came a little too late. It's really nice that they put a committee together, and I think we're able to accomplish a lot, but I think it came about 20 years too late. And Clarksville is growing. That's something that we all need to embrace, whether we want it to or not, it is. And I think that by getting people together that understand growth, that can help plan for the growth, we can definitely do a better job. I think building up is another solution. Instead of building out, it's a lot easier to build up. And as far as I know, we have very little growth upwards. And so I think getting the right people in the room, planning ahead, understanding that growth is coming, and then how can we do that efficiently and effectively and ahead of the curve.
All right. Next question. In recent years, we've seen nationally and locally a shortage of teachers and of bus drivers. What do you see as the best solutions to get more bus drivers and teachers?
So that is kind of a problem that everybody's having, Clarksville in more particular, as we haven't accommodated for the growth. But I know last year that they did try to increase the pays and try to entice it more, increase the hours at the school buses, to make that position just more desirable. But I don't think attacking it through the compensation is what we can really do. I mean, 80% of our budget is already dedicated to the salaries and the benefits of the employees. And with the current inflation in the economy right now, I don't think throwing more money at the issue is the problem. I think that we need to look at our policies and start making the proper changes to, encourage better student behavior, more parent involvement, to get just some more options that are within our control. Because if we don't adjust and change the working environment that these teachers are in, we're not going to have a desirable job for them to continue to do this. We got great teachers that are just burnt out by either just the children or the working environment. They're paid and they get the summers off, but a lot of them do a lot of extra behind the scenes work. They're working during their breaks. Just because school day ends doesn't mean that their work ends. And we need to find a better work-life balance to kind of improve that overall for all of us.
All right, thank you. Yes, Ms. Bryant.
I agree. I think that was a great answer. I've got several teachers in my family, aunts and uncles, and my mother-in-law was a teacher for Montgomery County for lots and lots of years. And so I've listened to their challenges, and a lot of them, unfortunately, are no longer teaching, and they were great teachers. And that exactly what he said is some of the reasons that they're leaving is the environment, the consequences for actions for children, the lack of parent involvement. Also, and we're going to get into this in a minute, I believe, but options. Not every child is made to go to a traditional school environment, and we don't have a whole lot of options here. So I think that I don't think that throwing money and more salaries is going to help. I think that changing the environment, making it, honestly, being a teacher is such, we all think of teachers as we grow up as just such a loving and, motherly or fatherly position. And they don't do it because they want the money or great benefits. Although that might be a side advantage to being a teacher, they do it because they care about the children and they want to make a difference. And I believe that we need to improve that environment in order to get them back in the classroom.
Thank you. School boards are now responsible for approving and giving some oversight to charter schools in Tennessee. How do you feel about charter schools and their implementation?
So I think charter schools are a great option. I mean, it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's very customizable. They offer different options. I mean, our current school system, we're kind of in a box. We're going to teach you, and we got set. This is what we're doing this month. There, it's planned out. There's not much change. Some students have excelled and can, learn and grow that way, but others, they require extra attention, different even different curriculums. Not everybody's being trained for the same thing. I mean, we need to bring up the general knowledge. We need some different options to create some specialists so we can have, with the growing changes and demands of just our city alone, trying to find and grow, these kids into good citizens so they can have options to all the new types of technology and positions that are available. I do believe the school board should still be able to review and control the number of applying charters, because the last thing you want to do is collapse one of the public schools. But I mean, we got a lot of them. I mean, if somebody else wants to fund that and start that, I think that that's a great option, and we should, as the taxpayers, be able to have that decision. If that's what we choose is best for our child, we should have those options and opportunities.
Ms. Bryant?
Yes, I believe that charter schools are a great idea. And I think carefully, just like creating plans around the city and the growth, I think making sure that there's an infrastructure that is, that's where we're bringing those types of things in, and it's a positive impact instead of a negative impact. Some of the arguments against charter schools, I know one big one is that it takes away from the money from our schools, but actually homeschooling and private schools are two of the biggest things that take money away from our public schools. And that's what parents are doing right now because there's not a whole lot of options. Those of you that have boy moms, I'm a boy mom. One of my kids is a boy, knows that not all boys are made to sit in a classroom and listen to a teacher all day. And there's less time for PE, less time for activity. And I know if he doesn't get out and get running and doing the things that boys do, then he is not worth anything when it comes down to sitting still and learning. And so I think that having things like charter schools and other options options for kids is a wonderful idea. And when you even think about careers as they grow up, not all, adults sit down at a desk all day and operate that way. There's electricians and there's plumbers and there's all of these other things. So I think that we're all built differently. And I think as a parent, I love the option to be able to pick a different route for my child and based on where I feel like my child is going to grow best. So I think charter schools are a great idea.
Thank you. So now it's time for closing comments. So Mr. Johnson, would you like to start?
Sure. So once again, thank you for, having us and doing this. I think right now between the two candidates that we got, either one's going to be a great option. It's just, pick one. Right now, my three pillars that I still strongly support and I want to make sure that we focus on is just, parental rights. We need parents to be more engaged and more involved. I just want transparency. There's so much stuff that goes on. If you're not a part of these meetings or you're not watching the updates, it's there available, but not everybody, we're busy. We got a lot going on. We need people to have that transparency. It needs to be communicated properly in a timely manner and kind of get the community more involved. And then just the fiscal responsibility. We have a large fund and, there's a lot of schools that are hurting that need, whether it's their athletics or the band or the different areas. We need to take care of our kids and we need to keep continuing to reinvest in them. And, the funds have got to be there. If not, we'll look and find out why, but yeah, that's all I got.
All right, Ms. Bryant.
I agree that either one would be great. Again, just getting parents back involved and in the school board. But for me specifically, I have a very public business, and through 2020 was a very rough time. And there were times where I really had to stand firm on my beliefs and my values as a business owner. And it again was very public. I got attacked in a lot of different directions, and so that I feel like gave me the strength. And getting through that made me a stronger person. And I believe that I can stand up without any hesitation for our teachers and for our children and for our parents. And I really, I'm excited for the opportunity to be able to do that. I think that they need it. We're in a time where, it can go one way or it can go another. And I really think that we need advocates, especially for our children in Montgomery County schools. So that's all I would really like to say is that I would love to be that person, and I'm not afraid to do it.
All right. Thank you both so much for participating in these debates and for running for office. Like y'all are saying, we need more people participating in the process, and thank you for stepping up. It's not an easy road to hoe. And thank you for watching these debates. And if you want more information on the candidates and the issues in the race, you can find it at clarksvillenow.com.